games that have their team either in the postseason or in the postseason hunt.
Davis a little shaken up after the plays. He got hit. Grabs that right Achilles area. That's where he missed a couple of games. It's been tender, and that's not a good sign.
We see a little one-on-one. Watch it. Let's see if we can kind of see Jokic tries to get up really close, which is sometimes when a player does that, it looks like they almost bump knees.
Jokic's first foul, you saw it right away, right after the contact. Davis came up hobbling a little bit.
The Los Angeles Lakers just lost to the Denver Nuggets, and to be honest, I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't surprised. It was only a matter of time before the Lakers lost a game when they gave up a huge lead to their opponent, and a huge reason why is because their brand new investment, their future face of the franchise, went down with an injury. And I'm not talking about LeBron James, I'm talking about Anthony Davis. As a Laker fan, I must admit that every single time I see Anthony Davis go down with an injury, I begin to think that the world's gonna end. I feel like his injury would be so bad that it could be one of those career-ending injuries that sap him of all of his skill. And if you're a Laker fan or a basketball fan that just happens to watch a lot of Laker games, you'd know that this happens a lot. Anthony Davis gets a minor tweak or an injury, he sits on the floor and begins to grimace in pain, and then he gets up and continues playing like there's nothing wrong with him at all whatsoever. At some point, there's going to come a time where LeBron James essentially passes the torch on to Anthony Davis, and the Lakers look towards a third star in order to keep them in the hunt for the Larry O'Brien trophy. But you see, that entire plan hinges upon two things. One, LeBron's ability to kick Father Time's ass, and two, Anthony Davis's ability to stay as healthy as humanly possible. So what's going on, guys? Your boy Mike here, and this is my first late night video in quite some time. Now that the NFL ended, I should have a lot more time to go back into making daily NBA videos, so do your boy a favor, and before we get to the video, just slap a like on that like button for the YouTube algorithm to get my content to a larger audience. And of course, check me out on Twitter and Instagram. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, the Golden State Warriors made it to 4 back-to-back NBA Finals, and as a result of that, we eventually saw the wear and tear it took on the Golden State Warriors at the end of that dynasty. We saw Klay Thompson tear his ACL and Kevin Durant tear his Achilles in literally one series. We recently saw Draymond Green get injured himself, and Steph Curry also dealt with an injury last year. Needless to say, there is one thing that I am kind of concerned about in the NBA that I feel as though it is not talked about nearly as much as it should. And that's how prone these NBA players are to potentially getting injured. And coming into this season, we probably saw the most extreme version of that. And while an 82-game regular NBA season typically requires a ton of conditioning and incredible fitness in order to make it through a whole 82 games in one piece, this year has been an additional grueling test for a NBA player's durability, especially if that NBA player finished on the 2020 NBA Champions roster last year, because you'd only have 2.5 months in order to fully recover from a grueling season and jump straight into another one. Oh, and by the way, prior to the NBA bubble, you also probably were not in the greatest shape because depending on where you were, it may have been more difficult to get your hands on specific facilities in order to maintain basketball playing shape. I know for me personally, I live in Los Angeles, And I'm not here to complain because I had to do my own thing to fix this, but we still don't have public gyms open. So imagine what an NBA player living in LA would have to deal with, or another place that is a little bit more strict when it comes to COVID protocols. But in spite of all that, this year, the NBA has played in quite possibly one of the most grueling seasons to date. And the two players that are going through the biggest test probably out of every single NBA player in regards to their durability is LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Two players that both have their own question marks when it comes to durability. One is LeBron James, who's completely destroying Father Time, might I add. And if everything goes according to normal, which this isn't very normal, LeBron James hopefully should be able to finish the season with a clean bill of health. The problem is when you're 36 years old and you're playing a regular 82-game season, you're playing the same amount of minutes that you typically play in that 82-game regular season, then I'm definitely going to be a little concerned here. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm just sounding like a very worried NBA fan, but at the same time, I'm kind of terrified at how negligent the Los Angeles Lakers and the NBA is being with not only LeBron James and Anthony Davis's health and well-being, but the entire NBA's health and well-being. Yes, I understand it's important to play as many games as possible. I understand how much revenue that the NBA may have lost last year as a result of not being able to play a specific amount of games. I could also understand if ratings are down just because of the weirdness that's been going on with COVID. I get all of that, and I'm not pointing the blame finger at anyone because it's been a very strange 11 months. We're going on 12, ladies and gentlemen. But what I am saying is that the NBA is completely neglecting the health and safety of its star players, and as a result, this could place a long-term dent on them. I think the NBA in the future needs to at least consider shortening the regular season just to make sure that this doesn't happen. I'm seeing way too many players get injured throughout the regular season. Not every single player is Kevin Durant on the Brooklyn Nets. They don't come back seeming like they are completely unscathed. Some of these players turn into what DeMarcus Cousins has become, or what Derrick Rose has become, which, by the way, if you're playing in the NBA, you're doing something right, but they're clearly not the players that they once were. Hell, look at what happened to Blake Griffin after another knee injury. And I guess this could potentially be a knee-jerk reaction from the events that occurred tonight with watching what Anthony Davis was going through. But a part of me was very angry because at the same time, the Lakers knew that he was dealing with Achilles problems. And if you just signed a player to a huge maximum contract extension where he commits his age 27 to 32 years to you, which is pretty much Anthony Davis's prime, the entirety of it, and you're still playing Anthony Davis, a player that occasionally could tweak an injury or occasionally give you a injury scare in the middle of a game, and you're playing him just a few days removed where he said, "Hey, my Achilles is starting to hurt," then that is extremely negligent and extremely stupid. So far, LeBron James has played in each and every game this year, and it's awesome. Believe me, I'm an NFL fan too, and I think I'm extremely blessed to see Tom Brady and LeBron James go head-to-head with Father Time and do the stuff that they're doing during this generation. It's really a marvel to watch. But at the same time, I can't help but be terrified. And this could potentially be because of my own PTSD from seeing my childhood favorite NBA superstar get destroyed by an Achilles injury a little bit earlier than I would have liked him to. May he rest in peace. Kobe Bryant was 34 years old when he tore his Achilles. And when I saw what that could do to Kobe Bryant, then I learned to start to fear injuries just a little bit more. And whenever they could at least be prevented, something as simple as your star player coming up to you saying, "Hey, I think I could go tonight, but this Achilles is, it's still feeling a little funky." I think it's silly to play him in any game at all, especially if you're in the earlier part of the NBA season. I don't care if the Lakers lose a couple of games and fall to a 4th or 5th seed as a result of it. I think it's important for them to rest their star players when it's clear that they need to be rested. I don't think what I'm saying is too complex. I don't think what I'm saying is too crazy. All I'm saying is The Los Angeles Lakers have not been able to secure a superstar of the caliber of Anthony Davis since Shaq. Honestly, if you think about it, they haven't been able to sign any superstar player from free agency since LeBron James, but LeBron James came over to the Lakers when he was 34. And I know some of you Laker fans are going to say, what about Pau Gasol? But Anthony Davis clearly edges out Pau Gasol when it comes to dominance or potential dominance in the future. All I'm saying is protect your investment. If you see a player is coming up to you saying my Achilles hurts, don't play him that night. But that's my take on the matter. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.